did want to touch on the release cadence for these updates. And obviously today we're focused on the Wave 1 2022, sometimes referred to as the April release. So there are some early access features that you may have taken advantage of in your own environments. For our region, technically the GA functionality started rolling out here within the last week, but there are some early access features that you can take advantage of, and a lot of times those are available several months before they become generally available. So January 31st of this year was actually the earliest that you could have jumped in and sort of taken advantage of some of those different Dynamics 365 or Power Platform features. But I do want to talk to some best practices there, as some of you may be going in and maybe thinking about taking on some of these updates. It's something I like to just point out anytime we cover these Wave 1 or Wave 2 releases is that we would never recommend that you go into your production environment and force these updates. Don't go in and take the early access features there. Always try to have a test sandbox. And right now, if you've got the type of environment that you're working with one developmental sandbox and one production environment, if it's possible, I would recommend spinning up a second test sandbox. So again, just wanted to throw that out there. It's always good to have a playground there to go in and test features, but you don't want it to impact the configuration or development that you're doing that could impact your production environment. A lot of times these early access features come with new tables, new fields, new relationships, and that can have a negative impact when you're trying to move solutions between environments and ultimately up into production. So just wanted to touch base there real quick. These do roll out by region. So the North America region, we started seeing these again in the last week as far as what GA looks like there. In other regions around the world, then could be before or after. If you wanted to see what that full rollout looks like, you could definitely check out the schedule online as well. And then as far as general availability, with Wave 1, we talked about the April release, and that's what we're focused on today. And that ultimately rolls out between the months of April and September. So some of these new features will be available right away in April, and there are others that will slowly roll out over time throughout this complete timeline here between April and September. And then Wave 2 kicks off. So with Wave 2, the October release, that's going to kick off in October, and a lot of those features slowly roll out over time as well, and may not even be available until March of the following year. So again, just a quick overview of the release cadence there, just to show what that might look like for you as far as going in and enabling these features. Again, best practice is to have a standalone test environment, but when you come into your admin center, if this is where if you've got access to your Power Platform admin center, and you open up that sandbox environment, you are going to see on this screen here down in the bottom center, I've got my updates turned on here for this particular environment, and you can see that it's gone in and updated several of the applications and components that are available in here. And if you actually want to know what's available in the release notes, a nice quick link here, if you see what's new in the release, this will actually open up a new tab for you where you can go in and you can drill down into each of those specific new updates or features, as well as a timeline as to when they might be available. So this is going to be turned off in your environments out of the box. You would have to manually go in and do that to push it. And then, it can take several hours for those updates to take place as well. So just wanted to touch on that real quick before we get rolling. So first thing we want to talk about is going to be sales. So what's new in 2022 for sales? I want to lead off by talking about digital selling and some of the big focus there on adding these digital selling capabilities to your sales environment to really help drive productivity and adoption there for your team. So a few things to touch on. The first being the Sales Accelerator. So this isn't a new tool, but it is a tool that has received a ton of enhancements, and it was only available before really to those premium licensed users in the past, but now these are going to, there's going to be some different features that are available within the Sales Accelerator to enterprise users as well. So really big win for clients. So the Sales Accelerator, it's a pretty flashy tool, provides some real incredible functionality for your sellers. So different tools available there to help, guide your sellers through automation to help engage with your prospects. So you're going to be able to create segments and sequences. So it's going to have a somewhat of a D365 marketing feel to it. And then there's going to be tools in there to help assign leads and opportunities automatically, create activities, and really, other records that would be then ultimately tied to a customer. So we're going to dive into the environment here in just a minute. I'm going to kind of walk through what that might look like. And then process automation. So this is a feature that's going to allow you to go in and automatically assign and distribute leads and opportunities to your sellers or different sales team members based on business logic that you're going to be able to define through assignment rules and segments that you can stand up. So, if you set this up correctly, you really think of the time that you might save with, today maybe you're manually going in and having to distribute leads and opportunities to your team. This is going to allow you to automate that process. So a great new feature there. Up next, we've got conversation intelligence. So this feature is going to take those incoming and outgoing phone calls, for example, that might be made through Dynamics 365. It's going to give you the ability to record them, transcribe them, provide real-time customer sentiment. This is something that is become more and more popular. The ability to grasp how that customer is feeling during that conversation. Are they happy, sad, based on that transcription and recorded call. So it's going to take AI as well, pull apart that conversation to help suggest different action items, relatable records, provide a call summary, give you highlights and analytics around the conversation. So a lot of fun new features available with conversation intelligence here. We'll kind of take a look at what the different options or settings are there that are available. And then sales analytics. So this is, it's a really powerful new feature that's going to be rolling out across sales, customer service, omni-channel field service. And this is something that, so you're going to hear me talk about it with, once we get into these other applications here, but insights and analytics reporting that are Power BI driven. So it's going to give you that Power BI functionality you'll see where you can go in, you've got filtering options, you can manipulate your charts by selecting specific data within a chart or report. So with sales, you're going to get two reports, one for opportunity usage and another for lead usage. So I'm going to flip over into my demo environment again here, and we'll take a look at what we're able to drill down into there with some of these different features. So I talked about the digital selling features first, more so focused on the Sales Accelerator. So here's the Sales Accelerator in action with some demo data. You can see as soon as I open it up, I'm looking at a lead record here. And on my left, I've got this list view of activities that are around leads that are assigned to me. So all showing this introduction email. And this is going to make more sense once we get into the back end of it. But some different things that are helping drive, for example, my lead score over here on the right, above my timeline here. I've got some AI kicked in to put some of these actions front and center. So the different steps within the sequence that I'm building. Step one is that introduction email, for example. So I need to go in as a seller, complete that task, mark it complete, and then you can see I've got a wait condition come in there to send another reminder email if necessary as well. So all of this is created through the Sales Accelerator by building out those segments, sequences, and ultimately assignment rules as well. So let's go into the back end and take a look at it here. So as an admin, I've got access to this, and if you're an admin, you would have access to this as well, but if I come into my area selector and I go into Sales Insights settings, it's going to start me off here with an overview of my settings, but I want to focus again on sequences, segments, and assignment roles. So if I click on sequences here, just a couple that spin up right out of the box. I've got new lead nurturing sequence as well as opportunity nurturing. So we'll come in here, we'll take a look at the new lead nurturing sequence first, just to see what that might look like out of the box, maybe give you some ideas of how you might use this in your own environment. So I mentioned that there are some different activities that you can go in. Now this one, within this sequence, when a new lead comes in, we're going to create this activity for an introduction email. So what does that look like? Well, let's preview what that email template looks like, and you could go in, create your own email templates. Obviously, combining some static and dynamic values here, we're able to go in, pull who that lead is based on last name, salutation. We're going to notify them that they're connecting with a specific salesperson. We're plugging in a phone number here as well. So you're going to be able to go and build out your own email templates in this scenario, and then drive that initial activity automatically. So you're not having to manually go in and do it yourself. And as soon as that is marked complete, we got a wait condition in here. So we've added a step for a wait condition, followed by another reminder email. Wait condition, call customer. So we've got 5 different activities in here, all the way to the end here where we're scheduling a meeting with this new lead. And again, this is an active one, but based on that, we can go in then and see connected leads here around this particular sequence. So if I come down to connected leads, come down to the bottom here, you can see that there are 10 leads that fall into this specific sequence. And where are we at with them? So these are my 10 leads. We've completed 0 of 5 activities so far. We're all in that introduction mail email step. Now, as these progress, you're going to be able to see how your sellers are doing, obviously, as they're working their way through the different activities that are required for each of these leads. So, nice to be able to report on them there as well. Now, if I come into manage sequence here, let's go ahead and edit this just to show you what it might look like. So you get this ability to go in and add a step. And this whole process definitely feels like it, again, came out of the marketing, Dynamics 365 marketing application, and really easy to use. So by clicking plus add step, now I can come in, I can add maybe some of those different activities or some wait time in here. I can go in and add some different conditions, or if I've got LinkedIn integration, I can add a LinkedIn step there as well. So really easy to use functionality. That low code, no code environment that we're working from now. You're not having to go in and do a whole lot of configuration to build these out. You can see how easy it is. So that's just really a quick overview of what sequences look like. Now segments, again, you're going to get a couple out of the box. We've got a lead and opportunity segment available to us. So if I crack one of these open, we can take a look at, and I guess that one doesn't really have one built out. Let's go ahead and just build a new one. So we might come in and depending, maybe we've got different territories. So I live in Minnesota. Maybe let's take a look at what it might look like to build out leads in Minnesota as far as segmenting those leads out. We'd add a description here. Let's go in, we'll say we're focused on leads. And now we're gonna go in and we're gonna add those conditions. So if I said, all right, let's add a row here, and I wanna identify, let's see, state. So the state of the new lead equals MN. And maybe, we get a few here and there where state equals Minnesota, right? Because you never know, depending on who's adding that. If it's a free text field, let's go ahead and let's group these. Whoops. We'll add an OR statement there. So now I've got this new segment here that's going to identify new leads that are in Minnesota. If I've got any leads in the system, and which I don't, you could come in, simulate results, and you're gonna, it's gonna paint a picture here of what that might look like if you were to enable this right away. But we could come in and we could save this, and now we could use this within our assignment roles. So I've got this third segment available to me, currently inactive, but gives you an idea of how we might use that. If I come into my assignment roles now, this is where we're going in, we're distributing those leads and opportunities. So I'm looking at all right now. I could filter it down by just leads or opportunities. I don't have any opportunities assignment rules built out. And ultimately, before you create a rule, the first thing you need to do is go in and enable your team members to be assigned records. So if I click on team here, this is going to be a list of all the users in the system. And I'm going to just scroll down to the bottom here. So a few demo users in here. So we've got Alan, David, Jeremy. And if I come over to the right, these folks are enabled to be a part of these groups that could be assigned records, but you can see their roles over on the right as well. So if you've got different security roles for different teams, you're going to be able to come in and identify those as well. So these folks are all able to receive new leads or opportunities automatically. You could go in and manage attributes there as well. And you're going to see where that comes into play when we create new rules here also. So we've got this existing one that automatically distributes incoming leads. If we wanted to create a new one, we could go in, we're going to create a new lead assignment rule. Opens up our wizard here. So let's, using that same theme, we're going to say leads in Minnesota. Now, who's eligible, select eligible leads for this rule. Who's eligible here? All incoming leads or maybe specific leads. Well, if we went in and we created that segment, and again, I don't have it active, but if we would have activated the leads in Minnesota, now I could have selected that here, or I could go in and create a new one. And then down below that, we're going to be able to determine who gets these leads. So we're going to distribute these to all the sellers, or maybe we've got sellers with matching attributes. So maybe we want to find who are those sellers that live in Minnesota. Maybe that's our territory. Or we could go in and we could assign to specific sellers. So I saw Alan in there. We could go ahead and grab Alan. So any incoming lead in Minnesota goes to Alan, for example. So just one way to go in and use this setup for assignment rules. And then determining how do we want to distribute. Do we want a round robin where we're distributing all leads evenly, or are we going to use load balancing? You can see down below, and we've got the ability to take into consideration a seller's work schedule or their capacity, and then you can go in and you can ultimately build those out as well. So a lot of flexibility with how you build out these assignment rules. And then ultimately, once you've activated them, now you're coming in and your leads are automatically assigned for you. You could go in and just make any modifications that you need to after the fact, but takes a lot of that manual work out of it. So if I come into monitor, then I could see my leads that have been assigned, opportunities that have been assigned, just to keep an eye on it there. So the other thing we talked about in that last slide was conversation intelligence. So if I come into my conversation intelligence here, we're going to see some different settings. I'm going to highlight a couple of the settings here that I have been asked about already. So I feel like these would be more common questions. So this top setting here in conversation intelligence, this is where we're recording and transcribing those incoming calls. Number one is we can determine who we want to have this capability. So do we want everyone in the company to be able to record these calls, or maybe it's specific roles? Maybe it's just the customer service team and the sales team, for example. Down below that, we can determine, do we want to allow them to manually select to record these calls, or do we just want them automatically recorded? And then, the last option here in this top setting, providing that notification when that call begins to the customers that the call is being recorded. This is a very important one here. So that is something out of the box that you're able to use, and that is on by default. The other one is around that conversation intelligence within the call itself. So we can come in and we can add different keywords or phrases. So maybe we add a competitor, maybe ABC company. If that gets mentioned during the call, maybe that triggers an action, as well as any other keywords. So we could add specific keywords or phrases here as well. And then the ability to add additional languages. So you could go in right now out of the box. Mine has got English in there, but if I needed to add additional languages for transcription, keyword tracking, or analysis, I can do that here as well. So again, just a few things around digital selling that I wanted to highlight. You can see we've got a lot more that we could get into, but for sake of time, I will I'll allow you to go in and test the waters yourself there a little bit. Now back on my home page here, I also talked about the insights and analytics. So if I click on sales usage reports down here, we're going to see that Power BI logo actually load here for a second. And we've got some sample data here to help drive some of these different reports now that are available through sales with these insights and analytics reporting. So we've got an opportunity usage report, and you can see up here we've got a lead usage report as well. So this has helped driving or helping drive some of those different dashboards, or I'm sorry, charts and lists here within this dashboard that are more commonly requested. We get asked, during sales implementations all the time, is there a way for us to add a chart that shows the average time for opportunity conversion? How many opportunities have we converted? And you've got those different filters up here. So again, if you're familiar with Power BI, this is going to be a really easy adoption, for you. And it's not hard to use if you haven't used Power BI either. So I can come in, I can update my different filters, and then within each of these charts, if I was to click, for example, here on these 4, you can see how the rest of my charts were updated as well. So having that impact on the rest of the tools that are available here. If I was to flip over to lead usage reporting, gives you an idea of what that might look like for you as well. So leads qualified, your conversion ratio, average time to lead conversion here. Again, we're using a little bit of demo data to help populate some of these charts here. But just a quick overview, something I think you'll see a lot of value in. All right, so up next, we're going to take a look at customer service. And again, really, I had mentioned before talking about those Power BI driven reports. In customer service, you're going to get a lot of the same stuff. So the insights reporting here is going to provide some case management specific historical analytics, as well as a report on knowledge article analytics. So you're going to be able to go in and identify which of those knowledge articles are working or search terms specific. So that's a great addition to the customer service package here. And then within Omnichannel, you're getting the same thing. So you're getting insights and analytics around your intake and channel efficiency. So call metrics. So another great reporting tool there. Also in an Omnichannel application with this update, you're going to get a boost to the routing rule. So intelligent routing, we're going to see some enhanced unified routing to really help simplify routing management for incoming support requests. So the new routing service is going to use AI to help classify, route, and then really, assign those incoming work items through automation. So you're going to really help eliminate the need for that constant queue supervision, excuse me, and the manual work distribution that could be taking place there. And then we've got a new admin app. So if you are an admin currently within your environment, and especially if you're using Omnichannel, you've got multiple admin applications that you're using today. Omnichannel has 2 alone. So what this is going to do is this is going to take all of those admin features and combine them into one app. A lot of the customer service admin features are scattered all over. So this loads it into one app. That's going to be great to see. And I'll flip back over into my environment real quick and just kind of show you what some of those different reporting tools look like. So I'm in the customer service hub right now. And in my sitemap, you can see I'm in insights. So I've got customer service historical analytics as well as knowledge analytics here that I'd highlighted. Now, I've got a few different tabs up here. So right now on the summary tab, again, this is this would be that same Power BI driven report or dashboard here available to you. I've got some key insights up top that have been highlighted for me. So, focused on the different topics, which would be basically your incoming support request. So different topic names that are helping drive some of these charts down below. And then if I come in, I've got that same filtering feature available to me. I've got some different charts that are available all out of the box and as with sales, if I was to come in and select a certain chart, you can see how that's going to update the rest of my charts here if I wanted to focus on specific data within the chart. So I've got some capabilities there, but if I scroll down, there are some, this is a quite robust report here, a lot of different charts and views available. And then if I want to just focus in on the agent metrics or the topics metric, I can do so here as well. I've got these different tabs available to me to filter those out. Again, using demo data here in this demo environment to help drive those different charts and views. And as I should have expected within a demo environment, typically run into issues or delays here. So let's try to jump into the knowledge analytics report here as well, see if we can get some insights there. And again, this is going to be more focused on those knowledge articles that you have published, who's accessing them, which ones are getting access the most, what does that search rank look like, engagement rate, trends. So a lot of good reportings here to find out what's working and what isn't, where they're being accessed, so on and so forth. So some great reporting there. The omni-channel dashboard, so here we go. Very similar, but now we're focused on our conversations. How many conversations have we engaged? How many have come in? What does the channel intake look like? So splitting that up a little bit. What does our customer satisfaction trend look like? If we wanted to focus in on live chat, you can see again how the rest of my charts and lists are updated. So another great tool available to us here. All right, and up next, we're going to take a look at field service. So I was a little surprised, looking at field service. They're, maybe based on, previous releases here, major releases. This one was fairly minimal. It really, field service dominated, I feel like anyway, the last several wave 1 and wave 2 releases. I guess it just maybe needed a moment to settle in, but we are getting those insights and analytics reportings here in field service as well. So if you're a field service team and you watched me talk about sales and customer service, getting these great new dashboards, don't fret, you're also getting these in field service as well. So you're gonna be able to view top KPIs around work order metrics, as well as technician efficiency and utilization. So focused on those resources. You're also going to get some mobile enhancements. So really focused obviously on the technician out in the field or whomever is using field service mobile. There are some updated booking views, a little bit easier to navigate now. And you're also going to be able to upload files from your mobile device to the timeline. So let's say you're adding attachments to your mobile device while you're out in the field. Maybe you don't have connectivity or whatever the case may be. You are going to be able to come back and upload those files from your device to the timeline. You're going to be able to also connect to customers' phone numbers from the booking. So if you need to call direct, you got that capability. That is something you're going to be able to do from the mobile device as well. And I can show real quick at least what that dashboard looks like. So if we come in here to field service, down here in our sitemap, we've got our analytics and insights here. And you can see we're looking at resource and utilization. We've also got field service historical analytics. So focused first on resource and utilization. So you can see we're monitoring average work time per day, travel time, and focused on those resources. And we could go and we could filter by resource type. So if you're using contractors or crews, as well as individual resources, or maybe you want to focus on an individual resource to see how they're performing, you can go in and do that here through filtering as well. Some different breakdowns, some different reporting analysis down below. And field service historical analytics. This is going to be more focused on the work order itself. Again, using some demo data here to help drive these different reports to give you an idea of what you might expect in your own environment. All right. Excuse me. So last but not least, we're going to highlight some features and enhancements that are available through Power Apps. This is really probably my favorite part of today's presentation. And a lot of this is going to really impact all of those previously mentioned applications as well. So first up, the new modern advanced find. This is something that is going to be available through Dataverse search. So it's eventually, that the legacy advanced find feature is going to go away. So if that's something that you're using frequently, we do want to make sure that you get comfortable using the new modern advanced find. And I would expect that the tools that are available in the legacy advanced find feature will end up either migrating into the new advanced find or available somewhere else. But that is something that, that's a big change there for a lot of folks. So do want to call that out. And just to pinpoint really what I'm talking about here. So if I come into my sales hub here, and this is going to be the same experience whether you're in sales, customer service, or field service, but this is our advanced find feature here. So this filter over here in the top right, if you're using this today, this is the experience that you might typically have where we come in and we're drilling down into a specific record or set of records from here, going in, updating columns, creating views, so on and so forth. So this is that legacy advanced find feature. The newer modern feature, and if I go into an environment here where I've got the sales hub with the early release enabled, you can see that advanced find filter is gone now. And if I come into my Dataverse search, which is this top search bar up here, I can click here now, search for rows using advanced filters, and I've got this new experience. One thing that I noticed right away, and depending on security roles, if I come into the legacy advanced find feature, you can see I've got access to every single table in here in the system. But depending on your security role and what you have access to, if I come into the new modern feature, you can see I've only got access to tables that I truly have access to. So I can come in and if I wanted to do a search on competitors here, now I can click continue and it's going to open up that advanced find filtering capability here where I'm going to add those different rows or related entities to filter down to the specific record or set of records that I want to see. So something I just wanted to call out there. Up next here, we've got the Copresence Indicator, and this is something that is not generally available yet, not expected to be generally available until September. But ultimately what you're going to be able to do with this is if you're on a record, let's say you're on an account, you're going to be able to tell if another team member is looking at that same account record, because on the record itself, you're going to see their icon showing up. So you're going to be able to, initiate a chat with them from there, or at least be able to tell who's viewing that record at the same time. And this is something that right now anyway is planned to be available for accounts, cases, opportunities, and contacts. So that'll be a nice to have right there. This is a big one. So standalone native Canvas apps for mobile, so RAP. No longer do we need to go through, if you're using a Canvas app, the experience for you today would be to download the Power Apps application, and then you're going to go in and you're going to see your apps within that application. But moving forward, you're going to be able to actually publish and get your own Apple or Google App Store identity for your app. So you can go in, you can choose an icon, an app name, etc. And then these are going to be managed through Microsoft Intune policies. So your app will actually be discoverable in these app stores. So in the app and Google Apps, or Apple and Google App Store, because Power Apps is now officially a mobile application development platform. So the really cool thing about this too is you can actually wrap multiple Canvas apps into one custom branded Android or iOS mobile app. So really cool new feature. Just looking yesterday, it is scheduled for GA release in June. So looking forward to that. Teams integration, some of this will be a little bit of a repeat. If you're not aware, you do have Teams chat functionality where you can go in, you can chat with other team members in Dynamics 365 as if you were in Teams, but you can also go in and you can link records in a chat. So by linking a record, it's going to embed a small card into that chat that's going to provide high-level information about the record that you're looking at, as well as a link to it, where whomever you're chatting with, you're sending it to them. Maybe they're not in Dynamics, but if they're in Teams at the time, they're going to get that message from you that's going to contain that card. You can start that conversation, and then it's linked to that record now. So anytime you come into that record, you're going to be able to identify that conversation. But also Teams appointments, something that we get asked about all the time. So it's great to see this feature go GA. This is something where from Dynamics 365, you can go in, create an appointment, and then add a Teams invite to it. So if I come into my activities here in the Sales Hub, and I go into my meetings here, so if I want to start an appointment, I'm going to be able to have the option now to flip over to yes to make this a Teams meeting. So great to see that come available in our Dynamics 365 environments as well. And up next, we've got just a few more options that are rolling out in Power Apps here. Power Apps Portals is now going to have the Dataverse search enabled. So that global search capability, and we've talked about it a couple of times now, what that looks like, when we were highlighting Advanced Find, for example, where that's at. So this is that global search capability. It's now going to be available in Portals. So creating some consistency there across all of the Power Apps applications that are available, and progressive web apps for Portals. This is real similar to Wrap, that native Canvas app experience. So this was released, and now you're going to be able to enable your portal to have that native mobile app look and feel too. So it's not just going to be for Canvas apps. So this is an option when you're going in and you're configuring your portal, where screen rendering, today anyway, on phones and other mobile devices, when you're using a portal, it's been less than great in the past, right? But now with this new feature, you're going to be able to provide really a much better end user experience. It's going to give you that native mobile app-like experience that you're used to on your phone. So you can actually create a package and publish it to the App Store to download and install as a standalone app. I should call out, this is not supported yet, this feature anyway. PWA is not supported yet in the iOS App Store, but I'm sure it's in the works. So if you are using an iOS device, for now at least, you could still enable PWA with your portal, and then go in and just, when you're using your browser, save it as a shortcut to your home screen. So did want to call that out. Table Designer update. So this is another really exciting new feature. If you've ever gone into Teams and you've created your own Power App, you know what this experience is like. It almost feels like you're creating an Excel spreadsheet. So you're able to go in, name your columns, choose a field type, write in line, and then you can even enter data as you're building it out. So this is something that is coming to the Maker portal to help create new tables, much quicker. So no preview yet, just screenshots, but wow, this is going to be a game changer for us. Up next, Microsoft Search. So users are going to be able to get search results from Dataverse when searching in Microsoft 365. It's not in preview yet, but it does list Bing, Office, and SharePoint.com as some of the locations to access this data. So that means that when you're in one of these other applications, you're going to be able to search for Dynamics 365 data there. So if you need to look up an account record, you don't have to go into Dynamics to do it, go into sales or field service, customer service to do it. You're going to be able to do it right from one of those other applications. So just another way we're bringing everything together there. And last but not least, I do want to call out, there are many governance and privacy controls updates that are rolling out. This is definitely a big top priority. You can tell for 2022, big focus there. So these are, and these are really in place to ensure that you have secure data, the ability to manage and really just govern all the different components as well as your users across your enterprise. So I would encourage you to check out the release notes for more information there, as well as the rest of these features. And with that, thank you for joining today. I hope it was informative for you, and I'd encourage anyone that is curious about everything rolling out to check out the full release notes, especially for that specific application that you're currently using, to get all the complete details around, just the new features that you can expect in your own environment.